So 14 three-point field goals, 2 away from the tournament record. Huskies scored 32 points in the second quarter, which is 1 point shy of the tournament record for a quarter of 33, set by UConn against Tulsa in the 2017 quarterfinals. Okay, the UConn contingent is on its way. Joining us from UConn will be head coach Gino Auriemma, junior Megan Walker, and senior Crystal Dangerfield. That press conference will be followed by Temple's. They will have Coach Tanya Cardoza and junior Mia Davis. Okay, UConn is here. Coach, welcome.
And the point of this is, we should have just stayed in the locker room and waited for everybody to come to the locker room.
And again, we're joined by Coach Gino Auriemma, junior Megan Walker, and senior Crystal Dangerfield. We'll take an opening statement from Coach and then open up to questions, please.
You know, every tournament's somewhat similar. You know, you play on Monday and then you get a couple days off, and sometimes it just takes a little bit to get going. And that's certainly what happened today. You know, we just took a little bit of time to get going, but once we got into some kind of rhythm and got some flow, and the ball started to move, I thought we played really, really well. And you know, it's tournament time, so you just gotta figure out a way to win the game and play well. And you know, we had, you know, these two guys played really, really well, especially, and we got to do it again tomorrow.
Take questions for Coach. Please raise your hand. We'll get a microphone over here to Pat.
Pat Eaton from the AP. Gino, can you, Olivia picks up 2 fouls in the first quarter and you bring in Aubrey. Can you just discuss, you know, the performance she gave tonight and how that sparked your team?
Yeah. You know, the one thing about Aubrey is she's going to bring a certain energy level to the game. She can impact the game defensively, and she can impact the game, you know, on the glass, and either on the offensive end or the defensive end, but especially on the offensive end, to give you an opportunity to, you know, get another possession. She's just active, and she's again, she's got energy, and she's active, and she's got the ability to go get the ball and not have the ball come to her. She goes and gets it, and she made a huge difference today. I mean, that's what you hope. You know, it's unfortunate that Liv got those fouls, but I thought this was one of Aubrey's best games that she's played all year.
Coach, you had some good inside-outside flow or in the first quarter and into the second. Do you think that opened up the outside and got you going?
Yeah, we shot the ball. We shot the ball better as the game went on. As our defense gets better and we get more opportunities, we have more open shots. So when Liv was in the game, you know, we wanted to make sure that we got her the ball, and if they were going to double her, she was going to kick it out. But in the second quarter, especially in the rest of the game, we were able to get the ball out in transition and get our feet set before the defense got set. And, you know, we have really good shooters. So we're not exactly a pounded in the lane kind of team, you know, but that doesn't mean we can't get baskets. But our game is to push it up the floor, and if we can get in the lane, great. And Anna did a really good job of getting in the lane and finding people. And as I said, we're a good three-point shooting team.
Back to Pat.
Crystal, I think you guys had 14 three-pointers today, shot better from three-point range than overall. Can you explain what led to those open three-pointers, and was it just contagious when Anna started making them, or how did that work?
Yeah, I think they started coming in transition early on. We were pushing the ball, and when we push the ball, the defense is, scrambling to look for cutters going to the rim, and we do that. You leave the three-point line open, and we were finally able to knock some in. And then after that, in the second half, we were able to move the ball around, and when you move the ball, it finds the open person.
You can stay with Pat.
Megan, can you talk about the job the two freshmen did in their first postseason tournament and what that meant for you guys as a whole?
They've been playing well here recently, so I kind of expected them to come out and play well. It's Aubrey's, I think, first double-double. Anna's been shooting the ball consistent, so that just helps our team.
Here in the back row, please. Okay, right here.
Megan, specifically Aubrey, getting 16 rebounds like that, what type of lift does that give the team, especially 8 of them being on the offensive side?
It gives us, more opportunities to score. The more offensive rebounds we get, the better it helps us in creating more possessions. She can rebound over almost anyone, so we want to keep that going.
Back in front.
Coach, when they got into that early foul trouble, how much impact did that have in the game?
Yeah, the game was called kind of funny today. Both teams had a couple guys with quick fouls, even though that there weren't an awful lot of guys in foul trouble. It was just a weird kind of a officiated game, and you got to play through all that. And unfortunately, Liv didn't get a chance to play as much as I would have liked to have seen her play. But we're lucky that we have somebody like Aubrey to come in, and she's undersized, so she can't just stand there in the lane and do what Liv does. And offensively, she can't, occupy two people like Liv can, So she's got to do it a different way. And we seem to be lacking a little bit of a spark in the beginning, and when she comes off the bench, that's usually what happens. And today was a perfect example of that.
Megan, you had 6 players in double figures today. How does it, when you have that kind of balance, how does that affect your offense and impact your offense? And can you just talk about how you guys have become more consistent over the last few weeks?
It's huge for our offense, especially going into the postseason. Everyone's touching the ball, which is huge for us, and everyone's cutting and everyone's knocking in open shots. So it just elevates our game even more for the tournament.
Any final questions? Coach, just ask you a few words maybe about the next matchup with South Florida, the team you obviously just saw a few days ago.
Yeah. That was maybe one of the, if not the best first halves that we played all year long, the first half that we had against South Florida last Monday. Everything that we set out to do, we did. That's unique, and that doesn't always work out that way. But that particular first half, I don't think we could have played any better. We couldn't have played better defensively, and I don't think our offense could have been any better. Can it be the same way tomorrow? They're a really good team, and they make you have to figure out a way to beat them in the half court, because that's what they do. They just pack it in, and they make you stand around and shoot jump shots. So tomorrow, our ability to create stuff off our defense, we talked about it after the game, that's when we're at our best. If we can create a lot of opportunities for ourselves with our defense, then we can beat anybody. And we can beat anybody if we create enough opportunities from our defense. And against a team like South Florida, that's what you got to do.
UConn, thank you.
Thank you.
And again, the UConn locker room will be open for about 5 minutes or so more. think we're good. I think we're good. Now you can sit in the seat if you want. Go in the back row, though. Okay, thanks. Okay, Temple is here. Coach, welcome back. All right. We're joined by head coach Tanya Cardoza and junior Mia Davis. Again, same format. We'll ask Coach Cardoza if you just give an opening statement, then we'll open it up to questions, please.
I thought that first quarter we came out and we did some really good things, but we talked about all the wide open shots that we missed, that if we had made some of those shots, maybe would, not, I don't know if it would have changed the outcome of the game, but they were getting the same wide open shots and they weren't making them as well. And then in that second quarter, Griffin came in and I just felt like she just changed the entire game. I think she gave them the energy that they needed. She got some offensive rebounds, got to the free throw line, and I think she was the spark that they needed. And next thing you know, they started making threes. And the thing about them is once they start making them, it's pretty much going to be hard to keep up the scoring pace with them. But they threw that punch in the second quarter, and we couldn't recover.
Questions, please? Over here to Pat.
Coach, how much did the early foul trouble hurt you? And then Aubrey, I don't know how many fouls she drew, but she got to the line a lot. So how much did that impact the game, her ability to draw fouls like that?
It was huge, but even Olivia, we were fouling Olivia before Griffin even got in there. Just being more disciplined, knowing that we're not in position to block shots and pushing guys, but that's been all season. Just being smarter and being more disciplined and not putting yourself in those situations. We always talk about, sometimes you just got to let them go and you can get the 2 points back, but you can't get the fouls back. And we had 3 guys, on the bench at halftime with 3 fouls, and it's going to be hard to win basketball games like that. But again, Griffin, she got to the free throw line. She doesn't shoot a great percentage, but she made enough of them to definitely change the outcome of the game.
Coach, in that second quarter, were you pleased with the shot selection that the Temple team had, or what do you think they were doing offensively?
I say this all the time. We were getting wide open shots. We didn't make them. They were getting those same open shots. They made them. So after the game, I talked to my players. It's like you can tell they spend time in the gym. They don't just show up on game day and think that they're going to go in. They put in countless hours to make sure that they make open shots. And I think just about every single one of their guards probably shoot close to 50%. So, if you get open shots and you can't make them, it's going to be hard to win. And they make open shots.
Other questions?
Mia, can you just talk about, you guys got off to such a strong start, 9-2 run there to open the game. So what happened after that? What was the...
In the beginning, we were communicating, making hustle plays. Then after a while, like Coach said, number 44 came in, and was getting rebounds, and we just stopped boxing out and communicating, and they got off to a hot start.
In the second row.
Coach, how was UConn able to grab so many offensive rebounds in the second, third, fourth quarters?
Just relentlessness. Like I said, I think Griffin really set the tone. But a lot of what they were doing, too, is they're setting a screen and we have to show. And as we show, most of the time she's a free rebounder. That's how she got a couple of them. But then after a while, it was just we're not paying attention to her. And, she made us pay for it.
Over here.
Coach, I know it's tough to think about right now, but do you see some more basketball to be played for this team this season?
I don't know. We talked about that being our goal at the beginning of the season. I felt like we let some games slip away that we could have definitely been sitting here knowing that we were going to postseason. Now we left it in somebody else's hands, and you don't want to be sitting around leaving that decision in somebody else's hands. You should put in the work and know and be confident that the work that you've done is good enough. And I feel like we put ourselves in a position where we got to hope someone thinks that we were good enough to be there.
You guys have had a tough couple of weeks to close the season, but you got a win here in the tournament. What does that mean for this program going forward? Where do you think you guys are positioned going into your senior year?
Well, like Coach said, we're just ending the season, hoping we can have a postseason, and if we can't, we're just going to come better and work harder for next year.
Any final questions? One over here.
Coach, last time you'll play UConn in this conference. What are your thoughts about them moving on and leaving the teams that remain?
Well, now that we're here, obviously, I'm a UConn family. So I've always been one that the only team I want to beat UConn is Temple. So if we can't beat them, I don't ever want them to lose. But now they're leaving the conference. It's wide open. And if we do what we're supposed to, we get in the gym and we work hard, maybe we could be the new UConn of the American.
Right over here, please.
Tanya, I was wondering, I know UConn's schedule is filled for the next 2 years, but where your program goes, if, you're a good game for them and they're a good game for you, will you talk to Gino and say, hey, let's play?
Most definitely. I want my players to play against the very best and compete against the very best. So it's definitely something. Just because we're not playing them in conference in the next couple of years, I would definitely look to do that. I'm sure he would invite me back. I'm sure he won't come to Philly. I mean, I want my players to come back to stores, come back to the XL Center. That's a great experience for kids to come in and play in that kind of environment. But we got to be ready for it.
I don't know if you know what his record is against staff that have one of his former players or assistants on it.
Thanks. Carl, I know. No one has beat him, right? Exactly. Like I said, there's always that time for someone to, something to happen. Wasn't this year, maybe in the future. But like I said, I don't ever want them to lose unless they're playing against Temple.
Temple, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.